this host out in Arizona ends up reaching out, messaging me on Airbnb, and she's like, "Hey, Precious, we're actually hosting this guest that you hosted a couple weeks ago." Said his name. He's like, "We saw your review, and we just wanted to let you know, I think we have your air mattress."
What? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Once Upon A BNB. This is Maha.
And this is Anns. I'm just kidding. She's not here. She's late in traffic.
Anns free episode, the first one.
She may barge in like Kramer on those.
Can't wait to hold this against her like y'all did with me and like she did with me not being on the first like test episode that doesn't count. Who's the OG now, Annsleigh? But we have a special guest today.
Yeah.
The guests have been few and far and few in between. What's the phrase?
Few and far.
Yes, that. So we have Miss Precious with us. Welcome to Once Upon A BNB.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So where are you from?
Originally from Chicago.
Okay.
I am currently based out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Have been here for about 3 years now, since 2018.
What brought you?
Flying.
Oh yeah, what brought you down to the A?
The weather.
Really?
Yeah, Chicago, Atlanta, you know?
Chicago's great in summer.
It is. I just got back this morning.
Really?
I was visiting family. Absolutely amazing. Summertime shy cannot be beat.
I've actually never been to Chicago, believe it or not. Like all the places I've been, and that's like at the top of my list too.
You're missing out.
When is it going to get cold? Because it's not too late.
You're not too late. I would say right about like towards the end of October is when you want to get weary.
I still have a little window.
Exactly. So I moved south just because love Chicago, but I'm not a fan of snow. I'm not a fan of being cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just figured it would be a lot better here, and it is. So,
cost of living too is pretty incredible, though it is going up a lot. Probably even just since you moved here, it's skyrocketed. I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yes.
Did you know people down here, or had you visited before?
No, knew no one.
Really?
I had visited one time before. I did
must have been a great visit.
Yeah, no, I did an externship here.
So that sounds like a couple months, right?
What, the externship?
Yeah.
No, it was actually just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wow.
It was like a job shadow / spring break / hey, interview for the company.
Oh.
So it was all of that within one. I actually interviewed for that company. Money was not looking how I wanted it to. So I ended up
money
not
goes a
taking
lot
it.
longer here in Atlanta, though.
That's a fact, but I still needed some more money.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up taking that job offer. I ended up going somewhere else. So I was in New York City for a little bit, and then I came down here when I started working for a digital marketing consulting firm.
All right. You plan on staying? You liking it so far?
Here in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say staying like
forever,
staying, but I definitely see this being home based.
Okay.
Definitely see this being home
Awesome.
based, but I want to try some of the other stuff, live out of the country for a bit.
Me too. Yes.
Where are you thinking outside of US of A?
Thailand, Chiang Mai specifically.
Oh my God, that's my favorite place in the world.
Yes, it's my favorite place as well.
That's awesome.
Why is it y'all's favorite place?
It's so peaceful.
It's just, everything is awesome. Like Chiang Mai, I went during Songkran, which was like their New Year's. It's like literally a big water fight for 3 days in the entire country. Everybody, like literally the whole country has water guns and buckets of water. You can't go outside without getting wet. And everybody's just having a water fight the whole time, like parades and stuff.
Just
so fucking cool.
Happiness.
My biggest water fight's probably like a field day.
It was like a 3-day field day for an entire country. There's like concerts and parades. And then like everything is so cheap and the food is amazing. And different parts of the country are also different. Like it's just the best. Everything was great. You could get a massage for like $6. I got one every day.
That's the best part.
They had Thai massages at the McDonald's.
Yeah,
I didn't do that, but like it's just great.
$2. Just
yeah.
Now I remember about Thai hot again.
Oh yeah.
The food's great.
We went to a Thai restaurant recently and got it Thai hot, and he was in and out of the bathroom like the rest of the night. Yeah.
I know.
Seriously, it means hot.
I normally pride myself on being able to handle the heat, but I'm a spicy boy. But
not a spicy boy.
So
he's got to compete with his Paki girlfriend.
My better half is Pakistani.
Is Paki like offensive or?
You told me that once, and I was like, "How come they all let me say it?"
I don't think I'm the one that told you that. I'm asking. I don't know.
Okay.
Did
I think it's on an episode.
We'll check the footage. Yeah, but
so you're familiar with spice, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. But that day it backfired. But So you have an Airbnb business? How did you get started in the vacation rental game?
Yes. Honestly, Super Bowl, was it 2019? Super Bowl 2019, when it came here to Atlanta, it was more of like I had a bunch of friends who had houses and they were renting their space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, let me give it a shot in my 1-bedroom, 600 square foot apartment in Buckhead. Did that. Obviously was not supposed to be doing it, but I did that, made some really good money that weekend. And that's when I then kind of realized the opportunity within the game. So from that point on, I started Airbnb in my apartment, like on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I was
You'd be surprised. We've had at least 3 guests, and that's their exact starting story is the Super Bowl. Yeah, literally. That's like everyone's start was like, well, the Super Bowl came, I made a bunch of money, so I kept doing it. Yeah.
No, seriously, it's just like it's one thing that really like kicks it off. So the Super Bowl was that for me. Made that money. Then I started couch surfing. Once I was couch surfing, I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I need to figure out something else. And then on top of that,
mean you were like staying on people's couches while you rented? Okay, gotcha.
Exactly.
Maha knows that all too well. I've crashed with her.
Yeah, while he was Airbnb-ing his house.
No, seriously, I like shout out to my friends who let me do that because they did not charge me, and I was making some good money. But yes, no, I did that, and then from that point, I then got an email from my leasing office.
Ooh, I know that email.
This is a familiar story. Yeah.
Yes. Got an email from my leasing office saying like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing this. So stop. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to get evicted. So I stopped. And at that point, that is when I then started to really dive deep into actually looking for an investment property to purchase. So it was already on my mind prior to that. But I never pulled the trigger just because, again, I was new to Atlanta. I didn't quite know the neighborhoods. I didn't know what to do. But once I realized the opportunity in Airbnb, and even furthermore, just the leverage I would have with actually owning my own property and just being able to do what I wish with it.
Make the rules, yeah.
Exactly. That's when I like hit the ground running at that point.
That's a bold move to go from straight into buying. It's a lot riskier.
It was. No, it was very risky. The risk definitely showed in the purchase because, again, I am here by myself. So I moved down here. I'm like first gen everything. Yeah. First to do all of this shit for the most part. So it was hard, definitely.
Did you just figure it out on your own, or did somebody like teach you?
Figured it out, made a ton of mistakes, documented those mistakes. You guys can find them, just Google me.
Really?
Documented those mistakes.
Wait, I need some details on that.
Yeah. Okay, so here, I'll tell the story and then it'll kind of loop back in.
Yeah.
All right. Foreshadowing.
So purchased the house that same year when I had started doing Super Bowl. Super Bowl was February. I purchased that house in October. So purchased the house, closed on it. Again, that was an entire lesson within itself because there were some issues. It was supposed to be a turnkey property. It was supposed to be something that it's like you get in, everything's ready.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like we just redid electric. We redid like everything's rewired. It's perfect. Get in and it's like I got to rewire electric. There's issues with the plumbing. It was just so much going on. And as someone, I believe at the time I was like 22, 21, maybe 22.
Oh, you're a baby.
Yes, I am.
Boss baby, though. Okay.
Yeah, baby goat, if you will. But nonetheless, that's what happened there. So I moved in, had all of those issues. Again, kind of like took it on the chin, fixed things that needed to be fixed, and then just made it a point to kind of turn that property as quickly as possible so that we can get some guests in. So I started renting that property at the end of that year, right after I had closed in October.
Were you living in it also, or just renting it out solely?
Yes. So initially I was the first few months. And the way that I was able to do that is because my full-time job at the time, I was traveling during the week. So I would be gone like Sunday to Thursday, Monday to Thursday. And at that point, during the week, I would be renting it out. Then when I get back on the weekends, I'm either still renting it out if it's booked, or at that point, I would just be couch surfing. So if it wasn't booked, I would stay there. But if it was, I would couch surf.
Did you ever stay there and just rent out rooms?
No.
Not enough money in that.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend who did that, and he saw a lot of money in it. However, for me, I couldn't do it. I don't even like roommates.
Yeah, I know. I was over it very quickly, but at first it was pretty cool. I was doing it and like met people from all over the world. I'm like still friends with a lot of people. They would come cook me their ethnic foods and like
it's cool. Yeah. And then on top of that, you have to understand as well, it's like that following year after I had then just closed on that house, COVID hit. So it was also a matter of like, especially when that hit, and then for work, we stopped traveling. So we were no longer going. That is then when it became a thing of like, okay, I'm back in my house. I now have to pay the mortgage because all of my Airbnb reservations have been canceled. I need to figure out something to do. So that was then the point where I then decided to build a tiny house in the backyard of that property. So I started the build for a tiny house in the back of that property. And initially the goal was for me to live in the tiny house, and then I was still going to rent out the main house, once everything kind of blew
my
over.
old landlord did that, but he just turned the shed into a tiny house.
It's a shed turned tiny house, So
and this is probably what, like March, right after? Yeah.
Yep, exactly. It was right around
Was
March.
getting the permits and stuff a bitch?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially during COVID. And it's like government employees are now working from home.
They still are.
But also perhaps a little easier to get by some code violations.
Right, that's true.
As well. So yes, we started the build for the tiny house. That was March of 2020. Didn't get it finished completely. Initially, it was supposed to be a project of it's only going to take about 8 to 12 weeks. You'll be fine. We did not finish that until March of 2020.
Oh my God, a whole year?
Exactly. But also factor in the fact that we didn't actually start the build until November. So everything prior to that was getting permits, was planning, was designing, was researching, and getting the actual shed delivered. So that is what we did there. And then at that point, that is when I also went and got a rental home as well. So I did the process of rental arbitrage. If you're into Airbnb, you're probably familiar with it. Just renting a house, then going around and re-renting it again.
I didn't know it was called that, though.
Yes.
Cool.
Rental arbitrage is the term. So I did the process of rental arbitrage, renting that house, again, on the south side. So it was right around the corner from the house that I had purchased as well. So it was absolutely perfect.
Did you have to do it on the low, or did you tell the landlord?
No, I absolutely let them know. So they were well aware that I was renting it on Airbnb, everything that I was doing. They knew that I had, I guess, my own system set up in a way that, hey, I'm going to make it to where, at least for the most part, I'll try not to I'll make sure no one else is having parties here and kind of bringing craziness to the neighborhood. So that happened. And at that point.
Last words.
I know, right?
Man, no, you cannot.
Is that more foreshadowing?
Yeah, exactly. Way more foreshadowing. But yes, so at that point, those were the three. So I had the house, the tiny house, again, that finished in March. And then I ended up getting the rental house as well. So those were those three.
So you're renting out the tiny house too, and you were going, oh, cool, okay.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So now all of them are being rented. I actually have an apartment now within the city. Luckily, I was able to do that once we actually finished the tiny house build. But I foreshadow that because speaking to just documenting wrongs, losses, and all of that, the tiny house just build. I documented that whole thing on YouTube. So it's like a 3-part episode. You can go watch it.
We'll link it in the...
Yeah.
You'll see me
Swipe
crying.
up if that's a thing.
You'll see me crying. I went through 3 sets of contractors. It was a bunch of shit.
Sounds about right.
And during COVID. So it was just it was crazy stressful, but now so very worth it. Because, again, the tiny house is doing amazing in addition to the main house. And the fact that it is a tiny house and all those losses were kind of taken up front, there are no bills for them for the most part. So that money that is now being generated
all
is
profit now.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's helpful just because tiny houses are pretty cool, too.
Yeah. How long have you recouped your investment on it? That's awesome.
I have not recouped the entire investment, but I've recouped most of the investment. So thus far, since listing in this past March, we have made about $12,000 or $13,000.
Oh wow!
So it's coming pretty quickly. And initially, the all in, we were about $32,000. So it's coming very quickly in terms of being able to make that money back.
It's a lot faster than recouping it on a house for sure.
Exactly. So that's the process that we're going through now. And then this past back in June or July, I got some apartments using a corporate lease. So doing the corporate leasing method, still rental arbitrage. And now what we're looking at in terms of expansion for the tiny house piece is actually building out a tiny house community and using all of those as Airbnbs.
Oh, cool. Where would the tiny house community
be? We don't know yet. We're still looking for the land. Yeah, we are looking for the land. So right now, still looking in Georgia. The last lot that we looked at was down in Macon. But we'll see.
Okay. I mean, Macon's a college town too.
Yeah,
that would work for sure.
So
tiny houses are all the rage these days too.
Yeah, especially here in Atlanta. There's actually a tiny house festival that's going on.
Really?
Right now?
Soon.
What does that even mean?
Week,
what would a tiny house festival entail?
What are the new developments that are going on with tiny houses? What are the
like a convention?
Exactly, for the most part. In terms of what are your options? How do you get started in investing in tiny houses? Because again, it's you'd be surprised the rate at which it's starting to boom.
Yeah.
Like-
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I'd bet on it.
I mean,
yeah.
look at HGTV.
I know. Yeah. There's like a whole show about tiny houses,
Exactly.
right? Cool. I could live in a tiny house, could you?
I don't know.
I mean, I've lived in a 520 square foot apartment before, and I was like happy as a
Yeah.
clam.
I got a lot
Why
of
are clams
animals.
considered so happy?
Animals would like it though.
They would. Oh yeah, you have like 18 animals.
It's like a Ace Ventura situation.
Is it called happy as a clam because they look like they're smiling? Like the shell is... Anyways, never mind. But so how many properties do you have total now?
So that's 8 in total, with 3 properties and 5 apartment units.
Okay.
7 full size.
One time.
Yes, exactly.
7.5 properties. But...
Yes, exactly. 7.5.
Cool. Well, I hear you have a few crazy stories for us.
Yes, it has been crazy. So specifically, I mean, you'd be surprised. I would say I get the craziest stories initially were coming from the house, because you
Really?
think with larger groups, and then on top of that, having the exterior cameras does wonders with what you see.
Oh yeah, we are aware.
With what you see. But now that we actually have the apartment units too, there's even stranger things going on with these apartments. But in terms of just recounting stories, yeah, what I'm going to be pulling from is specifically the houses.
All right, tell
Okay.
us about it. What happened?
Okay. So where do I begin? Which one do I want to start with? I'm going to start with the most recent one.
Okay.
So this was pretty much, I believe it happened back in the end of July. I had a request come through from this guy. I had a request come through from this guy, and he pretty much saw that there was a limit of 8 guests at the property. He's like, "Hey, I see you got 8, but I got about 11 people with me. Is that all right?" And how he framed it, he said, I got these 11 people, like, it's actually me, my wife, and we have 8 kids. And then
Okay, that gets you to 10.
Yeah.
Who are these 2
I
people
know.
running around with, like, is it grandparents or like these
Right.
8 little munchkins?
Hopefully a nanny. Shit,
It
with
was
8
not-
kids.
It wasn't even grandparents. It was not even grandparents. It was like their actual kids. Like some of the kids were like older. Like you'd be surprised. It's almost
Okay.
like a cheaper by the dozen type. Of
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
All right.
It was given that kind of vibe.
You're selling the family, you're like, all right.
So
Right.
so based on their initial kind of like inquiries to me as well, it's like, hey, we're doing this cross country road trip, and we're stopping in Atlanta, and your house looks really great. We're only staying for one night. We see you have an air mattress, so we're wondering, hey, is it all right if we have these 2 or 3 extra folks? They can sleep on the air mattress. They won't mind. Like, you know what? It's a last minute booking. It's a last minute booking. I want to keep my occupancy up. Sure.
It's so hard to turn down money too.
It was also a matter of I was working to regain my superhost status back.
Okay.
And it was right before the assessment period. And I'm like, if I could use this really good review right now.
Yeah.
Plus, families on a one night stay, that that's
Seems easy enough.
also though when you're throwing a party, it's usually one night.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. So you'd be surprised it actually wasn't a party. It's going to take like a crazy left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Yes, I love crazy lefts.
So nonetheless, they told me that they were getting in around probably like I'd say 8:30, 9 p.m. that night. So again, one night reservation. They're checking out at 11. Check out at 11 a.m. So they're
Run
not
that.
staying
Yes.
long at all. So I see them arrive on the cameras. They get in, and mind you, we had just had guests check out that probably day or 2 prior. So they get in. They're like, hey, everything's good. It looks good. We're about to get ready, start getting ready for bed or what have you. I'm like, all right. I get another follow-up message from him saying like, where's the air mattress? And I'm like, the air mattress should be right in this corner where we told you it was upon check-in, etc. It's like it's right there in the box where we left it. It's like, we actually don't see it. Like, that's weird because we left it there. Like, we just had our cleaners there at the house.
Yeah.
That's where we left it. He pretty much continues this story of saying like, like we don't know where it is. This is like really convenient. This is really inconvenient for us now. We were actually banking on this. Now, a few of our folks are uncomfortable. They've had to sleep on the floor. We don't have any extra pillows. Like kind of really pumping the story up. So my main concern, I could really care less about the fact that you're sleeping on floors. I want to know where my air mattress is.
Right.
That is my concern. Where's my air mattress? So again, they end up so later that night we actually finish. I have the conversation with them. I end up sending them $75 back of the reservation of what they sent, because I'm like, you know what, it's an inconvenience. We said there was going to be an air mattress here. There wasn't. That's our bad. So we're going to send you some money back. We sent $75 back. of that reservation. Apparently, I guess that was not good enough. So upon checkout, initially he said like, all right, that's fine. We understand. Upon checkout, they then turn around and he actually requested the rest of the fee back.
Full amount.
Exactly.
Oh my
for the full
gosh,
amount.
yeah.
Full amount. He requests the full amount and he pretty much attaches a note saying, well, you stated you were going to do something about this and we really feel like there was nothing done about it. So we are requesting the entire full reservation fee back. Again, because I am waiting on Superhost status and I am wanting a good review, I abide. I said, you know what? Sure. I accept the reservation. I give them the full reservation fee back. He actually ends up leaving a 5-star review, of course. Just had a
Well, that's good. Yeah, exactly.
With 11 kids.
This is free and it was awesome.
Of course. So, again, I take it to the chin. When my cleaners go there and we actually check the apartment, because, again, I want to go check to see where this air mattress is. I am more concerned with the air mattress. Where is it? I know I'm not crazy. So I go to the house, lo and behold, the air mattress is not there. So I take it to the chin, as I always do with most of these things. I go to Walmart, I get another air mattress. Now, at this point, I've let it go. I said, you know what? I had to go get another air mattress. Maybe the last guest took it with them. They stole it. I don't know. I don't know who did it, so I can't charge anyone. A couple weeks go by. And I get a message on Airbnb. It's like an inquiry. You know how you can send an inquiry just to send a message. I get a message from another host out in Arizona. And this host messages me and she says, hey, Precious, I just want to let you know that guest, I ended up writing a review for that guest and I mentioned the air mattress. I mentioned the fact that it went missing and all of that.
Did you give a 5-star review with it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I gave a 2-star. I gave a 2-star.
I always get afraid to give 2 stars.
I
Like,
know.
They can sense the vibe. And then
Me
they'll give
too. Me too. I'm always nervous. Like they're gonna
Once
know
you gave them the
somehow.
money back, you knew you had them.
No, later, I'm like, I know I'm going to get a good review from you, but I need to be honest for another host because, again, something seemed off. And I knew something was off and I figured it would come out, but it ended up coming out. This host out in Arizona, we're in Atlanta, Georgia. This host out in Arizona ends up reaching out, messaging me on Airbnb, and she's like, hey, Precious, we're actually hosting this guest that you hosted a couple weeks ago. Said his name. He's like, we saw your review and we just wanted to let you know, I think we have your air mattress.
What?
It's in Arizona's home. What they ended up doing was, I guess, trying to say that, hey, like there's a leak going on. One of us fell and slipped.
They just go around Airbnbs scamming people? Oh my gosh.
And they took a picture. So I guess like they had the air mattress leaning up against the wall, but they took a picture of a little water puddle.
Oh my gosh.
There. So they took a picture and I guess that's what they sent to the host to say like, yeah, there's something leaking. And the host saw the air mattress and was like, wait, we don't own an air mattress.
This is kind of genius, I'm not going to lie, but continue.
But we saw you mentioned the air mattress in your review and we think this is your air mattress.
And sent you the photo?
They sent me the photo.
Gosh.
They sent me the photo. It was definitely my air mattress. It is so hilarious because I remember when all of this happened that night she reached out. I was so shocked at what was occurring because I kid you guys not, like usually you guys are hosts. You understand that sometimes you look at their profile and you're like, okay, you look like you might be an issue.
Yeah, right.
You look like you might
Try
be an
not
issue.
to. Yeah.
Exactly. Like you can tell it's like, and then some people are like, okay, cool. This man, like, doctor. Like, I got these kids. Like, if you saw his profile picture, it's him, his wife. They're standing in front
He's wearing
of
a
minivan.
stethoscope, like
even,
holding a Father of the Year trophy.
I kid you not, even when I looked his name up, I was shocked at his face because it's like, you're a pediatrician doing things like
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Wow.
So it was
I was thinking maybe it was like a homeless family that just jumps from Airbnb to Airbnb and makes an issue so they could stay for free or something.
No, initially you would think no. And this is when I said it's like literally these types of antics, they have no face. Like there's no face.
It could be
to
anybody.
Them. Nothing. It's
I wonder if they were like, we need an air mattress, but this Airbnb that has an air mattress is cheaper than the price of an air mattress. We could stay here, steal the air mattress, and come out winning.
I have no idea, but when I tell you, I still have not. So I ended up trying to go through Airbnb, like because again, you have to understand, I ended up giving them their entire reservation feedback
and
I
buying
bought
an
another
air mattress.
So I was out of an air mattress. I bought another air mattress and you stayed in my house for free with like 12 people.
Yeah.
I wanted some type of compensation.
Let me
What does
guess,
Airbnb
Airbnb
say?
did nothing.
Airbnb, of course, Airbnb did nothing because it's like, you have to understand all of these pieces of evidence are like being pulled from different places
Mm-hmm.
in terms of this host here in Arizona. And then they also said that they were reaching out to other hosts because
Yeah,
they
that's
think-
what I was gonna
seeing
ask.
the bulletin board with the strings.
With
and
Charlie from
it's
like
very
Always
clear to
Sunny,
me.
like
look, like where did he go?
Yeah, it's clear to me, but the Airbnb, of course, is like, well, I don't know.
I don't know what
Seriously,
happened.
and when I tell you, like, when she reached out and she's like, "You're in Phoenix, Arizona?"
That's crazy. Did they reach out to
now
other
I'm
hosts?
tracking this road trip, you know?
I know.
Like, this is like, what kind of road trip are you on? And on top of that, are you just stealing everyone's thing?
I know. Did other hosts end
I
up
wonder
having like
when I-
other stories or?
I have no idea.
We gotta follow up on
that's
this.
what I'm saying. I still follow up because even them, like, they were trying to get money back just because of the scams that he had going on. That was the second time they had reached out.
Did you get Did you get the story of what scam they pulled? I guess it was the water.
Exactly, it was the water.
And so
Did they actually refund them or anything, or they called it from the beginning when they saw the air
They called
mattress?
it. So because what they did was they called it, and all of it was going on through Airbnb Messenger. And the guest, the one that was scamming, ended up trying to call, like physically voice call. You know, when they start to get to that point,
Because you can't document
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Tried to voice call, and they're like, "No, we're actually going to continue documenting this via Airbnb." Still documenting it, but last time I followed up, which was probably like 3 weeks ago, they still had not gotten their money back. They're still waiting, which honestly, I'm not surprised. I've had cases with Airbnb incidents where it's like, I don't get my money back until 3 months later.
Yeah.
And if you like, I've
If
had
you
it where
even get it back.
if they're like, we'll call you, and then you miss that call, like close it out.
Yep,
Close the ticket. I'm like,
exactly.
I don't know, I work during the day.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, I have a life.
my side job.
No, seriously, I've had some of them call me trying to resolve like a ticket, and every time they call, because of the specific person that they assigned me to, it's at like 1:32 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we keep missing you.
Yeah, shocker, you're not awake.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's definitely purposeful.
Yeah, it's
for
kind of
sure.
sign for sure. Airbnb's the
That's
worst.
Yeah, so
crazy.
that's one of my most recent crazy ones.
That is
honestly.
weird.
Also,
That's so
like,
weird.
when did this guy decide he was going to pull that specific scam? You
It's-
know,
Right.
How do you
'Cause
come up with it? Right?
it's such an absurd one. Like, you know
Yeah,
what?
right.
We're gonna swipe the item that and then say that that's what's inconvenienced us. So like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
And then take it with us to other Airbnbs. Wow.
How
I
does
wonder
he-
how many different scams he had.
And how do you keep up with all of them? at the
Right.
same- That again,
that's
it's
why
hard to
it's
get
so
caught up.
sloppy. Yeah, But
Right,
it's
exactly.
The smoking gun.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Wild. And he's a pediatrician. Business must not be going so well.
Again, it's
Where is he a
wild.
pediatrician?
He's somewhere on the East Coast. I feel like it was like Boston, Massachusetts, or something.
It's probably like Gary, Indiana, or something.
It was
I don't know.
definitely
that
not
sounds like a
Gary.
shitty
That's
place. I don't know if it is or not, but
Oh my God.
is it a shitty place?
No.
Oh, I thought it was. I don't. Sounds shitty. I don't know. Sorry, everybody from Gary,
I'm not
Indiana.
Mario.
Isn't that where the Jacksons were from, or something?
Damn, the Jacksons are shit.
I don't know. I thought it was a shitty place. They're not shitty, but it was like before they were famous. Anyways, sorry, Gary. I didn't mean it.
Damn. Okay.
You're not from there, right?
Low key.
Oh my God, are you from Gary, Indiana? I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no, I actually went to high school in Maryville, Indiana. It's about 10 minutes outside.
No, wow. Oops.
That changes things.
I
Though.
know. Yeah, it's not quite Gary.
Not-
I mean,
yeah, no,
that's the
not-
good
not-
part.
not that
That's
Gary,
the good
the
part.
other
Yeah.
Gary.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah. So that's wild. Like, that's definitely a story we haven't heard yet.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes, that was one. I mean, I have others.
Yeah, I would like to hear that second story, but Annsleigh's here, and so
Oh, yeah,
why
so
don't
we'll
we
do that
wrap
on the next episode.
and then we'll run it back in like 1 minute.
Yeah. Thanks
All right.
for listening to this episode of Once Upon a BNB. This is Maha.
This is Ian.
And this is our guest.
Precious. Hi.
Thanks, guys.
Part 2 and
Coming up.
Coming up. All right.